In mean value theorem, we have the statement that if the function f is differentiable function from xy plane to a real line, and if we have 2 points a and b, where a is x naught comma y naught and b is x1 comma y1, the points in the domain D, then there exists a point C which is between A and B. So here C is between A and B means C is lying on a line segment joining A to B, because we are in the xy plane, and such that C is in the open interval. That related condition here is C is other than A and B, right? So C is different from the endpoint. And in this case we have the condition fb minus fa is equals to f dash c times b minus a. So here the derivative is basically the gradient, because we have a two variable function. So let us write down this once again today, briefly, so that we will find out the condition. We'll note down the condition in the terms of partial derivatives. So mean value theorem, in multivariable case. So here in multivariable case, our function is, so here f is a function from B subset of R2 to R, be a differentiable function, and we have 2 points A and B, where A is the point x0 comma y0, B is the point x1 comma y1, and there exists, if f is a differentiable function and we have 2 points A and B, then this theorem says that there exists C in between A and B, whose coordinates are c1 comma c2, and C is different from A and Y, such that we have this equation. So equation is fb minus fa is equals to derivative at point C times b minus a. So if we write this equation in terms of the coordinates, then the coordinate of b is x1 y1, so it becomes f of x1 y1 minus f evaluated at the point A. The coordinate of A is x0 y0 is equals to, now derivative at the point C. C coordinates are c1 comma c2, right? And in this case we have, so let me check, we have taken c1 comma c2. So in this case the derivative is the gradient, right? So gradient we have evaluated the point c1 comma c2, that is fx and fy, times b minus a. So b minus a, that means we have to take the difference of coordinates, right? So difference of coordinates b minus a is nothing but x1 minus x0 comma y1 minus y0, right? So this is the equation in terms of the coordinates. So mean value theorem in terms of coordinates, that gives in terms of partial derivatives. So one remark we want to study here is that suppose our partial derivatives are 0, So in one variable case, we have one result that if the function is differentiable and its derivative is zero everywhere, then we know that the function is constant function, right? So same result we want to prove in the two variable case. So there also we use in one variable case the mean value theorem to prove that the function is constant. Here also we will use the mean value theorem itself for the two variable case. So what is the remark? Remark is that if fx is equal to 0 and fy is equal to 0 at each point, at each point in the domain, then f is a constant function. Right. So we can say this remark, or we can also say corollary. Corollary of the theorem. So proof is just applying mean value theorem, just one line proof. So the mean value theorem says that f of x1 y1 minus f of x naught y naught is equals to fx comma fy times the scalar product with the vector x naught x1 minus x naught and y1 minus y naught. So if we further simplify this by taking dot product, what we get is we get x1 minus x naught times fx c1 c2 plus the second coordinate multiplication, that is right, because this is a scalar product, dot product. So our function is fx1 y1 minus fx naught y naught is this value if the mean value theorem holds. So now here what is given is of course we are given the function is differentiable, right? So let us write down that let f from d subset of R2 to R be a differentiable function, and further we have partial derivative is 0 at every point. Then we want to show that f is a constant function. So what we'll do is just substitute fx equals to 0 equals to fy in the mean value theorem. So what we'll get fx is 0, fy is 0, and x minus x naught and y minus y naught are non-zero, but still the product will be 0. So therefore f of x1 y1 minus f of x naught y naught, which is x1 minus x naught times 0, because fx is 0, plus y1 minus y naught times 0. Partial derivative is 0 on the whole domain. So at each point they are 0. And therefore what we get is 0 plus 0 is 0. So finally what we get is value of the function at x1 y1 equals to value of the function at x2 y2. So that is f of b equals to f of a, right? So
Sir, could you please scroll up just 1 minute? I joined late, that's why.
yeah, so what we discussed is we just applied the mean value theorem for the differentiable function whose partial derivatives are 0. So in one variable case, we know that if the function is derivative 0 at every point, then the function is constant function. So same result we want to prove for two variable case. So this is equation of the mean value theorem, which involves the partial derivatives fx and fy. So if we take the condition that partial derivatives are 0 at every point in the domain of the function, then just substitute fx and fy 0, we get f of x1 y1 minus f of x0 y0 is 0, and that gives us the value of the function at a point and b point is same, right? So what are the points a and b? A and b are the points in the domain. So let me go to yesterday's statement, last lecture. So what are the points a and b? They are the points in the domain. So what we proved is, therefore fb is equals to fa for each point a comma b in the domain such that a is different from b, right? A and b are distinct points. So we have a two variable function whose value is same at any 2 points in the domain. So that is what we proved here. You take any 2 points a and b in the domain, its value is same. So that means the function is constant function. So this is just a simple proof which we are getting just substituting fx and fy. Okay. So this is regarding mean value theorem. Next, we want to study uh, an important topic which is related to optimization. So that is known as local maxima, minima. So again, two variable case. So we have a function of two variables here. So most of the things, whatever we are doing for two variable functions, that holds for three variable functions also. But in this course, mostly we will discuss two variable things. Only we will discuss is the integration. We will use triple integration. There we have a function of three variables. So we already studied in school mathematics local maximum minima, where what we do is we are given a function. What we do is we differentiate that. To find maximum minima, we first find the critical points or the stationary points by the equation f dash x equals to 0, right? So solution of all that equation, all x such that f dash x is 0 are the critical points, and then we have a second derivative test that will give us the given point. F is at the given point is either local maxima or minima. So same idea is here. So here the derivative is 0 means gradient is 0, right? And gradient is in terms of fx and fy. So gradient is 0 means both the partial derivative is 0 at the point. So before stating that condition, we first define what is the meaning of local maximum and local minimum. What do we mean by the value of the function is minimum locally at the given point? So D is a subset of R2 and X naught Y naught be a interior point. Of the domain. So the point X naught Y naught is called point of local maximum of the given function f yeah, so function is from D to R. So domain of the function is D and it takes value in R. So X naught Y naught is the local maximum of f if the condition is satisfied is so at X naught Y naught the value of the function is maximum. So it is bigger than value at all other points for every xy in a small neighborhood of X naught Y naught. Right. So what do we mean? So this is a definition. This is definition of local maxima of a function at a given point. So value of the function is smaller or equals to the value at f of X naught Y naught in some neighborhood. So once again, what is the meaning of neighborhood in XY plane? In XY plane, the neighborhood means we have a point X naught Y naught and we have the condition XY minus X naught Y naught less than delta. So that means X minus X naught square plus Y minus Y naught square less than delta square. So that means we have all the points inside the circle whose radius is delta, right? So this is essentially the meaning of delta neighborhood. At the point centered at X naught Y naught. So usually we denote it by neighborhood delta X naught Y, right? Just what geometrically it means. And all the points inside this circle are known as disk, right? So sometimes we'll use the notion of disk also. So similarly we can define the function f as local minimum at the given point if the value of the function is smaller than value of the function at X naught Y naught is smaller than other values. right? So for some delta greater than 0. So now this is just definition. What we mean by local maxima, local minima? It points near to the point x naught y naught. But how to identify that? So that is the how to find the critical points. Let us write down the necessary condition for local extremum. So we have a function be a function which has partial derivatives at the interior point x naught y naught of t, right? So if fx has a partial derivative at x naught y naught, and if f has a local extremum, so we know the meaning of extremum word, right? So extremum is either minima or maxima. So if you have a local maxima or local minima at the point x naught y naught, then what we get is the gradient becomes zero at that point. So that is nothing but the derivative is zero, right? That kind of condition. So what does this mean is, let's write down in the remark. So what are the critical points? So the point x naught y naught satisfying this necessary condition, that means we have both these equations are satisfied at that point. So fx at f naught y naught is 0 and fy at x naught y naught is 0. Then we say that is called a critical point, critical or stationary point. So this is the way we find the critical points in one variable. We take derivative equals to 0. But now this is a two variable function. So we take partial derivative to be 0 and both the equations should be satisfied. So we find all the values of xy such that fx equals to 0 and fy equals to 0. All the possible values of x and y are the critical points. So if local maximum minima exists, then it will exist at these points only, right? No other points. So these are the possible points where local maximum minimum exists. Let us first do one example. Find all possible points of extremum for the function. So we have the function defined from whole R2 to R, defined by. So our function is f of xy defined to be minus x square plus y square. So in school mathematics, first we studied the differentiability of a function in terms of limit h approaches to 0. But later on, when we have studied the maxima minima and all the applications of derivative of a function, wherever we have a polynomial, we every time don't use the definition of derivative h tends to 0, right? Because if we have a polynomial x square, we directly differentiate it and we know the derivative is 2 times x, right? So same way here also, we will differentiate the function now directly without using the definition of partial derivatives in terms of h and k. So let us see how we can do that. So now we'll see what is essentially the meaning of partial in the partial derivative. So to find the necessary condition, what we first need to find is we have to find the partial derivative first. So to find partial derivative of f with respect to x, what we do is we consider y as a constant. And we differentiate the function with respect to x itself. So what is our function? Function is f of xy. So consider, because we are finding the partial derivative with respect to x at the point x comma y, we simply differentiate the function with respect to x by considering y as a constant. So our function is essentially minus x square minus y square. So if we differentiate minus x square minus y square by considering y as a constant, then what will be the derivative? Derivative will be
minus 2x.
2x.
minus 2x, right? Because y we are considering is a constant, so minus y square is derivative 0 with respect to x. Similarly, for fy, we consider x as a constant and differentiate with respect to y. So in that case, what will be fy? So now we are considering x as a constant and differentiating with respect to y. So we know that minus x square, x is a constant, so minus x square has derivative with respect to y 0, and the derivative of minus y square with respect to y is minus 2 times y. So let us write down that. Okay, so any doubt in this step?
No, sir.
Okay, so then I will continue. So now we have found fx and fy, and then now we'll use the necessary condition. So necessary condition is fx and fy both should be 0. We need to find all such points x naught and y naught, right? So so now for the necessary condition, we find all points x and y such that fx is 0 and fy is 0. Both the equation. So that is so our fx is minus 2x, which is 0, and minus 2y is 0. So both the equations are satisfied. That means x is 0. The first equation will give us x is 0 and y is 0. So what are the critical points? The critical points are the points x, y, so that fx is 0 and fy is 0. So that is x, y such that here we are getting this equation to be x is 0 and y is 0. So what we get is we get a single point, that is 0 comma 0. So we have only one critical point for this particular example. So it depends on the given example that how many critical points are given. So this here the function was quite simple. It was just minus x square minus y square. So therefore we got only single point. Sometimes we get 4 points, sometimes we get 9 points also, depending on what equation we are getting. If x equals to fy equals to 0, we may get a quadratic equation. Then there are two possible values of x we get, right? Similarly, two possible value of y if we get, then total choices will be 2 power 2 is 4. So we'll see the more example later. So two things we have discussed. One is local maximum, local minimum value of the function. So that means in a small neighborhood of the point, or at all the points in that small neighborhood, the value of the function is smaller than the given point. That is local maximum, right? Similarly, local minimum. So now, what is the point which is not neither local maximum nor local minimum? So there are such points, they are called saddle points. So let us see what is the definition. So we have an interior point. of the domain d of the function f and suppose this point is is a critical point, right? Suppose so it is critical points means partial derivatives are zero at this point. So we say that this point is a saddle point. So local maximum minimum means there exists a neighborhood of the function, so that value of the function in that neighborhood is smaller than fx naught y naught or bigger than fx naught y naught, right? So that is local maximum and local minimum at x naught y naught. But saddle point means it is neither local maximum nor local minima. So that means whatever neighborhood we take, there is always a point which is whose at that point the value of the function is bigger than fx naught y naught, and there is another point which is whose value is smaller than fx naught y naught. So let me write down that condition. So if in every neighborhood, so in local maximum minimum we use in some neighborhood, but here in every neighborhood, whatever small neighborhood of the point x naught y naught, there exist points. So we have 2 points. One is x1 y1, another is x2 y2, such that the value of the function, one of the value is bigger equal to value of the function at x naught y naught, and value at the other point, second point, is smaller than fx naught y naught. So such a point x naught y naught where for every neighborhood we can find such a point, 2 points, x naught y naught and x1 y x2 y2. Then such a point is known as saddle point. So we will see some example later on, but as of now this is the requirement. So now let us take the second derivative test for maximum minimum. This says that let we have a function whose partial derivative exists and are continuous. Function such that fx, fy, fxy and fyx, all these partial derivative exists and are continuous functions. In a neighborhood, so in a domain, let us say the domain of the function. and we know that let x naught y naught be a critical point of the function. So consider the discriminant. So discriminant is a determinant. So that is denoted by d equals to fxx at point x naught y naught times fyy x naught y naught minus fxy at x naught y naught square. Right. So this is essentially the determinant fxx, fxy, fyx, and fyy, and we get fxy square because these both terms are same. If we take a polynomial like minus x square minus y square, such a polynomial, then the function has continuous partial derivatives up to second order, and in that case fxy and fyx are same. So therefore these two are same, right? So that is coming because of this condition. All are continuous functions. So we have a discriminant d. So in terms of d, now we have the second derivative test. So then the following holds. So let us write down on the next page. So the second derivative test is that if we have discriminant greater than 0. So in second derivative test, we know that we have second derivative greater than 0, then local maxima. Second derivative less than 0, greater than 0, then local minimum we get at that point. So that condition comes in terms of discriminant here. So whenever we have discriminant, that is this quantity, whenever this quantity is greater than 0, and we have fxx at x naught y naught, this number is greater than 0, then depending on the discriminant sign, we can discuss whether the point is local maxima or minimum. If discriminant is greater than 0, we have this point is a local minimum, right? And the second condition is if d is less than 0 and fxx at x naught y naught is greater than 0. Sorry, so this is always greater than 0 depending on fxx. We have local maximum. The third condition is that we have if the discriminant is less than 0, then the point is saddle point. Right. So discriminant is greater than 0. There are two possibilities. fx6 is greater than 0, then we have minima. fx6 is less than 0, then we have maxima. And whenever discriminant is less than 0, we directly conclude that the function has a saddle point at that point. And last condition is if the discriminant is 0, the test fails. Right. So whenever discriminant is 0 at x0, y0, we can't conclude anything, whether the function is maxima or minima at that point. So let us see one example. So our function is find local maxima minima. And saddle points if exists of the function. So the function given here is fxy equals to 4xy minus x power 4 minus y power 4. Right. So this is the given function. So what we'll first do, we'll first find the critical points, and then we'll use the second derivative test. So every function may not have local maxima or local minima or saddle point. Some function has saddle point, some function may not have saddle point. Same way, some function may have local maxima, some function may not have local maxima. So all these things we will identify using the discriminant by first finding the critical points. So this is given function f. So now we'll find for the critical points, we first find fx and fy. So for fx we consider y as a constant. So our derivative will be 4y minus 4x cube is equals to 0. Right? So first condition fx is 0. That gives us x cube equals to y. Right? The second criteria for critical point is fy is equals to 0. So for fy we consider x variable as a constant and differentiate with respect to y, the given function. So what we get is 4x minus 4y cube. This is fy, and fy is equals to 0 gives x equals to y power 3. Alright, so we need to find all the possible values of xy which satisfies these two equations. So this is first equation, this is second equation. What we do is we substitute value of y in the second equation. So substitute y from equation 1 in equation 2. So if you substitute equation, the value of y, what we get is we get x equals to y cube, and then we substitute y equals to x cube. So we get x cube power 3, that is x power 9. Right? So therefore what we get is x times 1 minus x power 8 is equals to 0. So all possible values of real number x which satisfies this equation are either x is 0 or x power 8 equals to 1. So what are the possible values? Possible values are either x is 0 or the solution of x power 8 equals to 1 is x equals to plus or minus 1. Right? Because x is a real number. We are not taking complex number. So what are the critical points? The critical points are x comma y such that x equals to y cube and the value of x is 0 comma plus or minus 1. So x equals to y cube means x and y has same sign. If y is positive, x is positive, x is positive, y is positive. So and value of the x is either 0, 1 or minus 1. So that means the value of x comma y is nothing but 0 comma 0, 1 comma 1, minus 1 comma minus 1. Right? And now to find the discriminant, what we so these are all critical points. These are all the critical points of the given function. So we can see that here we are getting 3 points as a critical point. In the previous example we have taken, we got only 1 point as a critical point. So now what was fx? Fx was 4y minus 4x cube. So if we differentiate with respect to y by taking x constant, we get fxy equals to 4. Right? We are differentiating fx with respect to y for the second partial derivative. So we get fxy is 4. Similarly, we get fx if we differentiate again with respect to x, we get derivative of minus 4x cube. So that is minus 12x square. And you can check that fyx also will get 4. So that is nothing but fxx. And lastly, fyy. So fyx is 4 and fyy is minus 12y square. Right? So these are the second order partial derivatives, and finally we have discriminant, which is fxx fyy minus fxy square. So what will be that? That will be fxx is minus 12x square, fyy is minus 12y square minus 4 into 4, so that is 16. So finally we get is 144 x square y square minus 16. So this is what we are getting as a discriminant. So now in the next lecture what we are going to do is we shall write down all the critical points. We shall find fxx at that point, that is minus 12x square. We shall find discriminant, which is 144 x square y square minus 16, and depending on sign of d and fxx at each point, we will identify whether the point is maxima minima or not. So we'll conclude that. Okay, so I think we are it is time for your next lecture. So let me stop the recording first.